To our Comodo weekly webinar session. Today we will be discussing about Comodo Dragon Endpoint Manager network management capabilities. Let me introduce myself. This is Ilgaz and I am the product manager. I'm working as a product manager for Comodo Dragon platform Endpoint Manager component. So today we will be covering how to create and run network discovery tasks. Then we will focus on creating network profiles and manage network devices using those network profiles. And lastly, we will cover how to create and manage network monitors to be able to monitor our network devices. So let me share my screen first. Now you should be seeing my Comodo Dragon platform. And from Applications menu, we go to Endpoint Manager. So Endpoint Manager is the device management console on Comodo Dragon platform. And it opens with some dashboard widgets where you can see your device statuses. And about network management, you can navigate to necessary places by clicking on Network Management tab. It has 4 subsections: discoveries, profiles, devices, and monitors. And let's start with discoveries. So the first thing that we will cover is how to create and run network discovery tasks. So here, when you click on Discovery section, it opens with all the discovery tasks that are created within your platform. And to create a new discovery, you just click to Create Discovery button and give a discovery name. There is 2 options. You can either use network discovery by network or by Active Directory. If you have an Microsoft Active Directory usage, then you can integrate and start searching for devices by using Active Directory integration. Let's cover by network first. So here you have the option to enable SNMP protocol to be used on discovery, so that all the devices in your network which supports SNMP protocol will be also discovered, like printers, switches, routers, etc. So let's enable it. It asks for a community string for the SNMP protocol to be accepted and used. And also you will need to define and add a probe device so that the discovery will be run through that probe device in your network. So the device first has to be enrolled within the Endpoint Manager, and also the device, of course, needs to be online during the discovery. So let's type the name, and it appears it fetches all the matched cases. So let's choose one. You can define more than one device as probe, which means that it will be the discovery will be used in both the selected devices, and even if any device is offline, it will use the next online device for discovery. And you have the option to run the discovery immediately after the discovery is created. So now the discovery is created and, and it opens with a general tab where you can edit the name, the customer, and the device group of the discovery. And also, if you enabled SNMP protocol, you can also change the community string. And also here, as we did in last step, we added one probe device, and it is also listed here. So you can remove or add another probe device. Let's add this one. And also you can choose any of the devices as default. It means that the default device will be used as first option, and if the device is offline at that moment, then it will switch to other devices. And you can also remove any probe device as you wish. The next step is auto-enrollment part. Auto-enrollment is currently available only for Windows devices, and it has some preconditions to be able to deploy Endpoint Manager communication agent onto the discovered devices. So the first of all, it uses PS exec executable. Therefore, it needs to be installed only on probe devices so that it can start pinging all the network. And also for target devices, there are some preconditions also. So NetBIOS over TCP/IP must be enabled for target devices. And also used antivirus and firewall system should not block the ping operation and also SMB connection. And also you need to know the administrator local admin credentials for target devices. Here, this is a necessity because in order to be able to install an application silently, you will need to have the local admin credentials so that it can be used on entering and running some commands on the target environment. And also file and sharing service should be enabled for target devices. And also there is one registry key should be assigned on target devices so that necessary operations can be completed without any errors. If you want auto-enrollment to be enabled, you just click to enable auto-enrollment and give the local administrator username and password. Select a device owner, which is the customer name actually, and also select a device group so that when the enrollment is completed, the device will be located inside the correct device group. And also you will need to choose a profile so that when the enrollment is complete, all the configurations that you have made will be transferred to the destination target endpoint. And as I said, auto-enrollment is only available for Windows devices currently, and we are working on the capability for Mac and Linux devices as well. The third tab is notifications part. This is where you can configure an alert mechanism when a discovery is complete, or when a new device is detected through the network discovery task, or when an already discovered device IP has changed. So for these conditions, whenever these conditions are triggered, then you will be receiving an alert, and by the configuration of the alert, you will receive either an email or a service desk ticket will be created, etc. The fourth tab is schedule, where you can schedule an already created discovery. So let's give a name, weekly discovery. You define a start date. Let's do it on Friday. And you have some schedule options. It's just like the other scheduling operations. You can either set a daily schedule, weekly schedule, or monthly schedule. Let's give weekly, and let's schedule it to Friday at 1 a.m. at night. And you can define an end date, or you can run it indefinitely. And there is an option to skip the discovery if all the network probe devices are offline. So if you select this, then, and if the probe devices are offline at that time, then the network discovery task will not be run. So let's skip it. So now I have created a weekly discovery, and it will be run exactly at on Fridays each week, and it will start on 1 a.m. And the last tab is our discovery logs, where you can see all logs about a single discovery task. On top side, there are 3 buttons. Discover Now will trigger the task to run immediately, and it will search for devices on the local network. You are able to clone the discovery. When it is pressed, you have the option to clone the discovery task with the selected probe devices as well, or you can leave it as disabled and add your probe devices manually after cloning the discovery. And the discoveries are like this. So when you click to Discover Now button, the command has been sent to the probe device, and the discovery is started. As you can see, there are 2 logs. One is for by network, because our discovery type, we chose network discovery. And also we included, we enabled SNMP protocol. So it also searched by SNMP protocol as well. And that's why it's logged as a separate discovery task. So it started. The completion depends on the actually depends on the devices that are connected to the network. So it can be up to 10-15 minutes. And after that, you will be seeing the discovered devices on Devices tab. So let's go to Devices. When you click Devices, it opens with Manage Devices tab. This is another section, but first let's cover discovered devices. So here, as you can see, all the discovered devices are shown. And when you click to a device, wait for the discovery task to be completed so that we can enable a device to be managed over SNMP. There are some filtering conditions. You can show only new devices. You can filter by device type. Also, you can filter by IP addresses, MAC address, device name, device group, customer, and by its discovery date also. And also you can filter by type. So there are no SNMP devices as of now. And here on managed devices, let's go back and, for example, choose this device. Okay. When a device is discovered by SNMP protocol, manage device over SNMP button is enabled, and when you click this button, that device goes to managed devices. For example, there is one managed device here, which means that and the type of the device is printer. So there are a total of 11 different types of devices: router, printer, UPS, switch, load balancer, firewall, workstation, server, mobile, other kinds of devices, and unknown. This sometimes happens. A device can be device type cannot be gathered by the SNMP protocol, but when you schedule a discovery, for example, by daily, it discovers again and again the same devices, and on each discovery, the more information is fetched from the device itself. It depends on the network, of course. And whenever you click to a managed device, you see the device summary, IP network details, IP address, MAC address, and enabled TCP ports, enabled UDP ports, associated profiles of that managed device, and also logs about the device when we want to monitor a network device and the monitor is triggered. That monitor will be listed here. So let's go to profiles to see how we can manage a network device. So on profile section, all the network profiles that you have created is listed here, and you have the option to clone an existing profile, delete an existing profile, or create a new profile from scratch. Let's create one. You can add a description if you want. And it is created now. It opens with General tab as usual, where you can change the name and description of the created network profile. The second tab is Network Monitors. I will come here later after we cover Monitors section. And the third tab is Probe Devices, where you can again type some probe devices for network monitors to be executed on the network devices. So we need a probe device to be able to monitor our managed network devices. So let's go to monitors section. It is just basically the same with our default monitors section. So it opens with already created monitors. So let's create a monitor. You again can add a description, and you can choose the folder for the monitor to be listed. It opens again with General tab, where you can change the name, description, folder, and also change the alert settings of the monitor. There are two options. You can define more than one condition, and if you can define if all the conditions are met, or if any of the conditions are met, trigger an alert so that you will be informed about the monitor that is being triggered. And on second tab, that it is where you add monitor conditions. There are four conditions as of now. The first one is uptime. This means that this condition will trigger if the network device is online less than 15 minutes, for example, starting from now. You can choose different conditions: more than, equals to, less than, more than or equals to, or less than or equals to. And you can define a period as minutes or hours. The maximum is 24 hours and the minimum is 1 minute. Second one is performance, and it has two parameters. The first one is CPU usage and the second one is RAM usage. Again, the conditions are the same. And here you define a percentage. For example, if you set CPU usage more than 70% for, let's say, 2 minutes, then it will trigger an alert because this monitor has been triggered. The third one is this condition. It has three options: free space on system drive, free space left on any drive actually, and free space change on the system drive. And the conditions are the same, and the values are only for percentage. So let's say free space left on any drive for if it is less than 10%, create an alert. So the fourth one is device status, and here it is you can check whether your device is online or offline for predefined amount of period. Here, let's say device is offline for 30 minutes, create an alert, click save. And here on General tab, since we have set this trigger an alert if all the conditions are met, it will trigger an alert when all of these three conditions are actually triggered. Therefore, you would want to select this one since you have more than one condition on your monitor, which means that if any of the conditions are triggered, then it will create an alert. On the third tab, you will see the profiles that this monitor is assigned. Currently, no profiles are running this monitor, so it's empty, but we will just add the monitor to our newly created profile so that it will be seen. And the fourth tab is logs. It shows all the devices on where the monitor is triggered so far with the details and also hit count and status. So let's go back to profiles and add the monitor to our newly created profile. So we select our profile, we go to network monitors section, we click to add monitor, and we start typing our newly created monitor. You can add more than one monitors at a time so that both monitors will be assigned with this profile. So here it appeared, and when you go to the monitor and go to profile section, you will see the profile that is associated with this monitor. And lastly, we need to go to manage devices and choose a profile that we just created. So we select a device, we click to manage profiles and add profile, and type the newly created profile, and it is appeared, and you will see an information about whether the profile has been pushed to the managed device or not. So it means that the profile has been successfully processed on the device itself. So here you can define and manage all the network devices. So that's all that I wanted to share. So if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer. Does anyone have any questions? You can ask any question regarding any part of the system, by the way. So it doesn't have to be just about network management.
Yes, I just did have a simple question. In the other parts of the application, it talks about Metro apps. So we're just a new user. What's a Metro app?
You are talking about
Containment.
okay.
I think it was in the containment section, to do with exclusions, I think it was.
You are asking about profiles, actually, right?
Yeah, I think so. I remember I saw this Metro app. I wasn't quite sure what it was. Rules.
Here.
Yes, that's it. Yes. What's a Metro app? Thanks. Great presentation, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Okay, so Metro apps are basically the applications which are touch screen, which have touch screen capabilities and also written specifically for Windows WinRT interfaces. So it's type of an application which uses WinRT interface, basically.
Okay. Where do they get the name Metro from?
Sorry?
Not that I'm trying to associate Metro with what you're just saying. It's it's short for yeah.
It's actually
I'm thinking of metropolitan, but that makes no sense.
no, it's related with mobile internet devices and
Okay.
smartphones.
Okay.
But it's actually a created name by Microsoft. So Metro is created by them.
Okay. Okay. So this is more to do with, as you say, touchscreen, like iPhones and iPads and stuff like that, not necessarily a Windows PC or an
No,
Office.
it's for Windows PC, but for well, think of like you have a Windows application store, right, on your Windows devices.
Sure.
So, for example, you are using a tablet running a Windows 10 operating system, which has touchscreen capabilities, right?
Yes.
So it has actually two modes actually, right? One is for desktop mode and one is for mobile mode, correct?
Right. Yes, I see.
So
Okay.
those are the mobile mode. Those applications are created specifically for mobile mode, which includes and uses Windows RT interfaces.
Right. Okay.
So those Metro apps includes those types of applications.
What's an example? I'm not as familiar with Windows RT. What's an
I
example
can
of
show you inside the Comodo client security. Under advanced settings, we have file rating menu. Also, we have in portal also. Inside file groups, you can see the Metro apps and you can edit Windows applications from there. You can change, remove the applications, or you can add the configuration from here. The file groups inside the file rating.
Okay, so it's like it's a defined application that you know it's okay, because at the moment you've got it marked there as reputation any and behavior ignore. So it's basically a trusted application on a Windows touchscreen device. Is that what you're trying to group
Yes,
it by?
the Windows applications for you can ignore them or you can block them. Basically, you can create rules to Windows applications.
Right, right.
It's
Okay,
a file
fantastic.
group.
It's a file group. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Carryovers from Windows RT and Windows 8.
Sorry, John, I couldn't hear you.
I say they're basically legacy carryover apps from Windows RT and Windows 8.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I do remember Windows RT from a long time ago. So it's really quite a legacy type application or usage. Okay, fantastic. Thanks, guys. That's great. I'll look forward to the one next week and learn some more.
Thank you.
By the way, Oğul, do you have any suggestion for our webinar topic? Would you like to learn any specific topic or part of the product?
We're focused on the auto containment at the moment. In fact, I was reading the manual the other day. If you guys got to finish, or you got time for a short question? Do you have time for a short question? Another question?
Yes, sure.
Yes,
Sure,
sure.
please go.
I was testing. I was reading the manual, and I tested the virtual. You know how you go and at the end user, you can go into a virtual mode, or the what do
You
they
mean
call it?
virtual desktop?
Yeah, virtual desktop. And I was
Yes.
reading in the manual saying anything that you download while you're in that virtual desktop session. So if I download a file and do something with it, and I tried that. I downloaded a file and I installed a little application. It was just an image manipulation application called Faststone, I think it was, which I used, and that was fine. It downloaded to the virtual environment. I could edit files with it. I could take the edited version of the file and put it into the safe, saved area, or what it was. I think you call it. Not really the right term. Then I closed the virtual desktop session, and the original image of the file in my normal file system was restored to what it was. The modified version that I'd copied out to the shared area, or some term you used, that was there, and I just flipped the image upside down, so that all worked perfectly. And the application that I had installed completely disappeared as well. It didn't exist in Windows x86, etc., or program files. But the original application that I used to install that was still there. And maybe I misinterpreted the manual. I thought anything that you downloaded, for example, from the web within that virtual desktop would disappear. Yet in my downloads folder, in my real downloads folder, the application was still there. When I executed it, it definitely created a virtual environment and did everything in there, installed it there. But when I shut down that session, the original downloaded file was still there. Did I read the manual incorrectly? Because I thought that file that I downloaded from the web would have disappeared as well.
You actually downloaded the file within the virtual desktop session, right?
Yes, I'm pretty sure I did that. I'll double check. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I downloaded it in the real session, but I'll try it again tomorrow, and I'll download it from
Could you please share your email with us so that we can track the situation?
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm happy to repeat it and just test it. It's Ian at Job Toolbox. That's JOB.
Could you please type on the chat?
Sure.
So that there won't be any mistake.
Yeah. Okay. Now, where's my chat on this thing?
You can type it on privately if you want. It doesn't matter.
That's all right.
Can I ask a question, or is he? Ian, are you done?
Ian at Job. Oops, Toolbox. I can see a typo there. Hold on. Yeah, that's it there. Did you get that?
Yes, we will direct this to our
Yes.
support team, and we will collect your logs about this. And after that, we can have an idea which part is wrong or which part we missed.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So theoretically, that file should have disappeared as well when I closed down the virtual desktop.
Yes, correct.
Correct.
Yeah. Great. That's what I read in the manual. Look, let me check it tomorrow. Make sure that I definitely downloaded it from the virtual desktop. I think I did. But I'll double check that. I don't want you doing any work when it was really a mistake.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
We will get in touch with our support team, and I'm sure that they will reach out to you.
Yeah. But everything else worked perfectly. I mean, I was really impressed the fact that I had definitely started with an original image that was in my real environment. I modified that image from the virtual environment and just flipped the image upside down, saved it, which saved to the virtual environment. I copied it to the shared area, and then when I blew away everything, everything disappeared. The installation in the virtual environment didn't exist in program files, x86, etc. anymore. And my modified image, which flipped upside down, still existed in my shared area. So I didn't lose any of the work. So the program worked exactly as it's meant to do. I was really, really impressed.
Thank you. Okay, so Raj has a question, I guess.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a question about the profile. So the profile that you mentioned
Network
there,
profiles or generic profiles?
so I guess it's a generic, or maybe no, I'm not too sure. So I'm playing around with it. So there's a multiple profiles there, and I created my own little custom one, specific some feature, the settings there for like the Windows Server versus the desktop PCs and laptops as well. Is there a way to, like, because we have a multiple location, and then we I've been manually, I created the groups and I've been manually moving as I add new device to it. Is there a way to create some sort of a profile or a group, say, okay, anything comes from within this IP range or this a name convention
Understood.
or something like
Understood.
that? Do it
So
automatically.
you are asking about dynamic profile changes according to the geolocation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So so basically, I'm trying to look for, like, because I'm mixing up with the profile with the, because I wasn't sure, because the reason is so I have a generic one that, like, any new device it enrolls, it goes to the default location, and then I move manually to specific location
Correct.
or area.
Yes.
I would like to automate that process, so I don't have to, mystically I don't move device to it.
That functionality is not available as of now, but the exact same feature is already on our roadmap, and we planned it. It will be available most probably next year.
Okay.
But we are already working about automated profile assignment for devices based on different kinds of criteria, like IP range, like geolocation, etc. So I'm sure that it will satisfy your needs.
Okay, but I mean, the other thing is, like, because we got these mobile devices like laptops and desktops, even like a touchscreen ones and stuff like that. Is there a way, like, because we got laptop that moves around between the location, like we have some salespeople, they go across other site. That way, so we don't want to move those guys around between locations. We want to keep them in a specific group as well. So those I assume it's gonna be a static group, I assume. Or
as of now, yes, you are right.
Okay.
You can add a device to multiple groups.
Okay.
Actually, but it's again, it will be a static operation.
But if you have two profile, like multiple profile, how does the Comodo know which profile to choose, or is it it's gonna choose
okay, so you can do it like this. So it will actually take both of the profiles, and it will apply all the conditions, all the settings that both profiles do. So it won't solve your problem. But as I said, this is on our roadmap, so it will be there. I cannot give you an exact timeline as of now, but we need to talk this through with our development teams. But I can say that we already have this feature request as in our roadmap.
Okay. So one other that may question related to, I don't know if it's a profile or is one of those antivirus. So we have some in-house application, and then we have some vendor application for certain devices that we install. So I've been excluding, I don't know if it's a full path or .exe file name, because when vendor does the update, I don't know if the signature changes or something, then I gotta re-add them in there or exclude like the installation location or something. So is there a way that I can do a I don't know, pre-approve or something like that? Because I did add it and made it overwrite the rate, like admin rating, to be trusted and everything, but it's still like when the user try to install or update and it just kind of deletes it, or I gotta go manually re-add them.
So do you add
Yes,
those
that's
exclusions as
correct.
a variable, right?
Yeah, so under there's a whitelist, I believe.
Yeah, so you define a file group variable, add some file locations here,
Yep.
and then
Yes, I
use
created
that variable on your antivirus settings, right?
Correct. Yeah, so under exclusion, that's where you add. Yep. So I already have added that in there as well.
So
it doesn't happen all the time. So I know like one specific vendor is I don't know. It's like it's even eating up. Like it thinks it's malware or something, and we report to the vendor saying, but then say, well, that's your antivirus is being aggressive. And I talked to the support, Comodo support too, and they said, okay, we can. So I end up just doing is fully like the, C drive program files, like the actual path, and excluding the whole folder. So, but that kind of makes me feel a little bit nervous. What if some sort of a malware get into that within that folder, move itself or something, and then it does the execution from it, that I'm whitelisting the whole path. I mean, I'm assuming like if it gets out of that specific area, it's gonna start blocking it because that's not whitelisted path, but I'm not sure how the behavior.
So I couldn't get what you actually need. So you have the option to use.
Yeah, so if we add the path.exe files or whatever, that should exclude it. And when we do update application from vendor or whatever, that should be pre-checking this exclusion list, right? But it's
yes.
I think it's not doing it, so it eats up the new updated application. The only way I will do it, I will have to temporarily disable the auto containment or antivirus software, which gives you like 15 minutes or something, and then you do the installation, and then it I guess it's auto refresh policy, so it's gonna re-enable the antivirus and the auto containment. Then it works fine.
I see.
It's just like initial update or executing the program. It thinks it's a malware, even though it's part of the excluded group and exe file and all that.
Okay, could you again share your email so that we can track this issue as well? Because I think that it should not rate any application or any file that is listed as excluded as malware.
Okay, I can share with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What time do you guys finish?
Actually, we have 3 minutes left.
Okay, just a quick silly question if I can, because we're a new user. I can understand the profiles as relating to devices, and we just went through network. What's
Yes.
the relationship between a network profile and then just a normal profile for the device? do you just drop that network profile onto a device that's used as your monitor or as your agent to go out and poke around and find everything else?
Okay.
How
Okay. The basic difference is network profiles can be used only for managed network devices which are discovered by discovery tasks. So managed devices does not mean that it is fully managed as if, for example, you install the communication agent on your device so that you will do a lot of things. You will be able to do a lot of things like monitoring, like running procedures, doing patch management, etc. And also remote access is one of the difference. Capability, remote access capability is one of the one difference, let's say. So network management is rather more compact remote monitoring and management way of being able to monitor your network devices without deploying an agent.
All right, so it's a separate agent, or there's no, it's not using
No,
the same
there is
agent.
no agent. There is no agent actually. You
Right.
get to manage the devices inside managed devices section over SNMP protocol only. So
Right,
there
and
is
that's
no
what,
agent. There is no XMPP connection. There is only HTTP and SNMP connection between device and the portal.
right. So it's your portal driving all of that, talking directly to those devices.
Exactly. Yes. So
I
the
see.
main difference that you can only use the profiles that are created within network management section on your managed devices that are discovered through network management.
Right. Okay.
But on the profiles and all other monitors, procedures that are inside configuration templates are for devices in your device list. So actually, those are the devices which includes and contains the communication agent at least.
Right, so these are all your typical PCs out there that your users are banging away all day. Now, you might have a company with 50 or 100 users or 300 users or 3,000. So that's all of those. That's all of those people, and then your network profile is on your main servers are talking directly to that particular selected PC, who could also be one of these managed devices, or is it something that's not one of these normal user devices? It's a separate device.
No, it's a separate device. For example, you cannot install the communication agent into a network printer because it's not running Windows OS.
Sure, yeah.
That's why the actions that you can take on a regular Windows device is much more complicated and much more intense than what you can do on a network printer, for example.
Sure.
So you cannot enroll a network printer, but you can discover a Windows device, and by setting up auto enrollment, whenever the device is discovered, and if the auto enrollment is correctly programmed, then this device, the founded device, won't appear in network management devices section, but instead it will go to devices and device list because the agent will be actually installed.
Yes. Okay, I see. So an example, what's an example of one of these devices that you point your network management at? Does that still need to be a PC or a server, or just some, because it's got to have some intelligence in there to go poking around?
Sorry, I couldn't understand that.
Sorry, okay. What's an example of the type of device that you send or enable your network profile to?
Yeah, so if the device is, if the discovered device is a, let's go to here. If the discovered device is a server or workstation or even mobile, well, we don't have any mobile support for Windows OS.
Sure. Yeah.
But if it is workstation or server, and if the running OS is Windows, then the auto-enrollment part of the profile will run, the discovery will run and try to enroll and install the communication agent into that device.
Yes, yeah, I see that, I understand that, and that's very powerful. So I had the concept that you were directing, you might have 50 devices on your local network, because you might have printers and PCs and servers, etc. I had the concept you directed, you had to nominate at least one device on that local network that went out and found everything else. So what was that? What's an example of the type of device you dropped that initial network query onto to go out and ping everybody else and discover everybody?
Okay.
Was that just a
okay? So you want to know how to enroll a device?
Yeah. How to find that
Okay.
very first
Actually,
device that goes everybody.
Okay. So network management actually is basically developed for network devices, not like workstations or servers, but for routers, printers, etc.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see.
So, but it finds also all the devices connected to the network. Therefore, we put the auto enrollment capability for Windows devices as well. But if you want to mass deploy onto your network, all the devices on your network, then you can go with this. So you create a bulk installation package. By the way, are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm familiar. I use the bulk installation package. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you know the auto deployment and discovery and deployment tool as well, right?
Right. Yes, I did see that there. We're just experimenting at the moment. We just created an installation executable, just dumped it on a couple of PCs and ran it. But I can understand you could use Active Directory or probably any sort of enrollment or deployment package that was available. That would still
Correct.
work.
So you can also use the auto discovery and deployment tool as well to be able to search and discover and actually deploy the agents on your endpoints by this way as well.
Okay.
So you choose a package, choose one. Okay, this should work. And here you also have the option to discover an Active Directory as well.
Sure. And network addresses as well. Oh,
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
I must have used up your last 3 minutes, I think.
And no problem. So you can also deploy the communication agent in bulk via this tool. So actually, with this way, no probe device is needed, because actually I can deploy, for example, this computer doesn't have any communication agent installed, but I can still search for the network and deploy to all of the devices that are found.
Okay.
If, of course, the devices are Windows based, because I've downloaded a bulk package for Windows. So if I want to deploy to Linux, I just choose a different package for Linux and use it.
Yes, I understand. No, that's powerful. That's great.
Okay, glad to help. By the way, Raj, did you share your email?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Oh,
okay.
I sent it privately on
Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, if no one has any question, because we have run out of time already.
All good.
So,
thank you for the presentation.
thank you very much for attending our webinar session. I hope this was useful for you. And if you have any suggestion for future webinar sessions, please don't hesitate to inform us, and we will just plan for the upcoming session. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Have a nice
Great.
day, evening.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.